Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's debate on the recent Greenpeace protest at Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's mansion. The event has sparked a nationwide discussion about the methods of protest, the climate crisis, and government responsibility. Here to discuss their perspectives are two guests. We have environmentalist Dr. Clara Mitchell, and we have policy analyst Mr. James Thornton. Let's aim for a respectful and informative discussion and allow our viewers to come to their own conclusions. Dr. Mitchell, please begin by sharing your perspective.
Thank you, Alex. The Greenpeace protest at Prime Minister Sunak's home was a direct response to what many environmentalists see as a disregard for our planet's future. By planning to max out oil and gas extraction from the North Sea, the UK government is moving in the opposite direction of global efforts to combat climate change. The International Energy Agency itself has stated that no new oil, gas, or coal developments should occur if we aim for a net zero future by 2050. While some may criticise the method of protest, the urgency of the issue cannot be overstated. We need to act now, and sometimes drastic actions are required to get the attention the issue deserves.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. I understand the concerns about climate change, and I believe many of us share those concerns. However, the method of protest Greenpeace chose is where the disagreement lies. Targeting a politician's private residence can be seen as an intimidatory act. It raises security concerns, as highlighted by the former Deputy Chief Constable's astonishment at the breach of security at the PM's home. While Greenpeace's intentions might be noble, the approach potentially risks the Trust's charitable status and could alienate potential allies.
Thank you both for your opening statements. Dr. Mitchell, how do you respond to the concerns about the methods of protest and the potential consequences for Greenpeace?
I recognise the concerns, Alex. However, it's essential to note that before the protest, Greenpeace ensured the safety and absence of the Prime Minister's family. They also announced their intention for a peaceful protest. This event was more about sending a strong message rather than causing harm or intimidation. In times where the planet is facing unprecedented challenges, traditional methods of communication may not always suffice. The government's decision to grant over 100 new licenses for oil and gas extraction in the North Sea stands in direct contrast to the necessary actions to combat the climate crisis.
While I understand the urgency, Dr. Mitchell, there are also ethical concerns. Greenpeace receives significant funding from their charitable trust. Engaging in such high-profile protests might be seen as a misuse of those funds and could jeopardise their charitable status. It's not just about the immediate message, but the long-term consequences for the organisation and its mission.
Given these concerns, what would you suggest as an alternative method of protest or communication that could be both effective and less controversial?
Open dialogue is always essential. Collaborative events, educational campaigns, and engaging with the public on these issues can also be effective. However, sometimes, to bring immediate attention to an urgent matter, more direct methods might be required.
And while dialogue is crucial, it's also essential to ensure that actions don't overshadow the message. By potentially jeopardising their charitable status, or being banned from governmental meetings, Greenpeace might be reducing their potential impact in the long run.
Thank you, James. While I acknowledge the concerns regarding the method, I'd like to emphasise the urgency of the climate crisis. The Prime Minister's decision to grant over 100 new licenses for North Sea oil and gas extraction contrasts sharply with the global consensus on climate change. And while we speak of the ethical concerns regarding the protest, let's also address the ethical implications of decisions that might exacerbate the climate crisis.
I agree that the climate crisis demands urgent attention. However, the government's stance is also rooted in ensuring the UK's energy security. By leveraging our domestic resources, the government is aiming to reduce dependency on external entities. There's also the economic perspective of supporting thousands of British jobs. While the transition to greener alternatives is crucial, it's also essential to ensure that the immediate energy needs of the country are met, and that the transition doesn't adversely impact the livelihoods of many.
I appreciate that viewpoint, James. However, the current path seems more like a doubling down on fossil fuels rather than a balanced approach. The International Energy Agency's warnings are clear. If the world is serious about achieving net zero by 2050, there can't be new oil, gas, or coal developments. It's not just about meeting immediate needs, it's about the kind of world we're leaving behind for future generations.
It's a valid point, Dr. Mitchell. But let's also consider the current infrastructure and energy matrix of the UK. Transitioning to renewable energy sources requires time, investment, and technology. The government is also investing in renewable sources, like the world's largest offshore wind farm. This dual approach ensures immediate energy security, while paving the way for a sustainable future.
It's essential to recognize both immediate needs and long-term goals. Dr. Mitchell, considering the immediate energy needs of the country, how would you propose we strike a balance without further drilling?
Thank you, Alex. The key is diversification. While we transition to renewables, energy efficiency measures can significantly reduce our consumption. Investing in research and development of storage solutions, like advanced battery technology, can also ensure consistent energy supply from intermittent renewable sources. Additionally, international collaboration and sharing of green technologies can accelerate the transition.
All valid points, Dr. Mitchell. However, the economic implications can't be ignored. The oil and gas sector supports thousands of jobs. An abrupt shift might lead to job losses and economic downturns in regions dependent on this industry. The question is, how do we ensure a just transition for everyone involved?
That's a crucial aspect, James. A just transition involves retraining and reskilling workers from the fossil fuel industry to work in the renewable sector. Government policies can incentivize green industries to set up in regions historically dependent on fossil fuels. Additionally, investments in education and infrastructure in these areas can attract diverse industries, ensuring job security and economic stability.
And while that sounds promising, it requires significant investment, both in terms of time and money. Given the current economic challenges, is it feasible to expect such a rapid transition without compromising economic stability?
While there are short-term challenges, the long-term economic benefits of a green transition are immense. Renewable energy sources, once set up, are more cost-effective than fossil fuels. They also open up avenues for new industries, innovations, and job opportunities. The cost of inaction, considering the impending climate crisis, might be much higher than the investments required for a green transition.
The debate then boils down to immediate versus long-term priorities. While I understand the urgency of addressing climate change, we also need to be realistic about the challenges involved in such a transition.
Thank you both for this enlightening discussion. The complexities of balancing economic needs, energy security, and the urgency of the climate crisis are evident. As we navigate these challenging times, it's crucial to ensure that decisions are informed, balanced, and considerate of both immediate and long-term implications.